following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, such truthful statements starting off so early. It does not matter who the host is. Anyways, today is Thursday, February the 3rd of the glorious year of 2022. Day 34th of the year, in only 331 days remaining before the end of the shit show. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on. We are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida. So I hope you like that one. So there you go. We are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, as we are stating right here and hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that place that we do stuff at. You know, that place over there, over there, Radio. Oh, yes, hanging out with our friends at Radio Big. So as you are aware, always a lot of things going on, always a lot of stuff to talk about, always a lot of things to do. So let's start talking, because that's going to be important. So if you're not familiar with the show, it kind of goes in this world of format. We talk about the news. We talk about what's going on in the world of safety. We try to piss some people off. We try to talk about everything in a way that it's fashionable, that everybody can interact just a tiny bit, just where we can have those interactions and all that kind of fun stuff, because that's always important, so we can go forward and move and talk and all that other stuff. So there you go. Anyway, so let's continue talking. So according to the trends from the overnight, it went something like this. Jeff Zucker was trending after announcing his resignation from CNN. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in the next little bit. What else did we see going on? What else did we have? The name Commanders was trending yesterday as football fans reacted to the name of the Washington football team. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in a moment. Hashtag Groundhog's Day landed in Twitter's top 10 trends on Wednesday as the reaction of his prediction were mixed. His prediction, we'll talk about that a little bit more later on. What else? Judy Blume was trending after multiple outlets reported that hundreds of books were pulled from the Texas libraries over them containing themes of race, sexuality, and one book was specifically called out because Blume's books are called Are You Their God? It's Me, Margaret. So there you go. Always some interesting stuff going on and all of that kind of fun stuff. So there you go. That's what's happening at the very, very, very beginning of this thing. So let's see what's going to happen when we bring in our lovely friends at the feature story of the news and let them tell you what is going on inside of the world of the news. And then we'll get into some hot mess, because that's what we do around here. Imagine that.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in New Delhi, I'm Ashank Garg. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson told Russian President Vladimir Putin not to make a tragic miscalculation with an invasion of Ukraine. The two leaders have held a call, which the Kremlin says was a fairly detailed exchange of views. Ollie Barrett reports from London.
Well, the two readouts from the Kremlin and Downing Street of the conversation between Vladimir Putin and Boris Johnson unsurprisingly strike a different tone. The Kremlin says President Putin raised what he sees as an unwillingness from the military alliance NATO to respond to Russian concerns, and insists that Russia needs long-term legally fixed guarantees around its security. Now, Downing Street says Boris Johnson told Vladimir Putin of his deep concern about what he called Russia's hostile activity at the Ukrainian border. But Number 10 says the two men agreed that aggravation was in no one's interest.
Russian officials have criticized the US decision to send more troops to Eastern Europe. The move comes a day after President Vladimir Putin accused America of trying to drag Russia into a military conflict. Julia Chapman has more.
Russia's Deputy Foreign Minister Alexander Grushko called the move destructive. He said it increases military tension and narrows the field for political decisions. One Russian lawmaker, Dmitry Novikov, said the deployment of US troops could complicate the situation surrounding Ukraine and disrupt the fragile negotiation process. Russian officials have repeatedly accused the US of stoking tensions and blamed the West for the current political crisis. After weeks of diplomatic talks, tens of thousands of Russian troops remain stationed on the Ukrainian border. Julia Chapman, Moscow.
Canadian truck drivers angry over COVID-19 vaccine mandates are continuing to block a key US border crossing despite warnings from police. The truckers in the town of Coutts are aligned with protesters who have disrupted traffic in the Canadian capital, Ottawa, for several days. Ira Spitzer reports.
The line of trucks now stretches for several kilometers on the Canadian side of the busy border crossing between the province of Alberta and the U.S. state of Montana. The protesters say unvaccinated truck drivers shouldn't be required to test and quarantine when they return to Canada from the U.S. and have called for an end to COVID restrictions in general. They remain, despite threats from local authorities, that they are violating laws that prevent interference with critical infrastructure. The demonstrations are tied to the Freedom Convoy movement, which has been protesting in the capital, Ottawa, since the weekend. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has called the protesters a fringe minority, but they've received support from some conservative politicians and even Tesla CEO Elon Musk. Ira Spitzer, San Francisco.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, continuing our look at the situation over Ukraine through the eyes of one of America's most prominent analysts of the relationship between Washington and Moscow. Today, Professor Angela Stent of Georgetown University turns her attention to sanctions. With the US and UK vowing crippling sanctions in the event of any Russian invasion of Ukraine, she argues the West needs to be careful lest it harms itself as much as Russia with any punitive measures.
I think they could be quite punishing. We should remember that Russia has now accumulated over $600 billion in hard currency reserves. So it does have a cushion there. But if you cut off the major Russian banks, which some of these sanctions might do, the Russians would suffer. Other countries that deal with Russia would suffer too. If you sanction the entire Russian energy sector, which is what the US Congress is now proposing to do, then of course that would hit the Russians because energy exports are a significant proportion of their GDP. Would that be enough to deter Putin from ordering an invasion?
One country with an enormous stake in all of this is Germany, which yesterday banned the German-language network of Russian propaganda TV channel RT. But Germany is known to have reservations about the scale and scope of some of President Biden's proposed measures, and Chancellor Olaf Scholz will be in Washington next week to talk about it. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
FSN is an independent source of news for TV, radio, and digital networks worldwide. You can find more of our minute-by-minute updates on Twitter. Follow us there at Feature Story. And we have a wealth of audio and video stories from our global news bureaus on Facebook. You can find us there by following Feature Story News. Stay tuned for further updates right here. But for now, that is the latest Feature Story News. Ishan Garg reporting.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting's hard to do in just 2 minutes. 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hey, come in real close. I got something to share with you. Not everybody has a beautiful head. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can pull off the shaved head look. Hey, I'm not digging on people. I'm just bringing it up. Some people out there are losing their hair. Now, I want to tell you about my friends at Keeps. 2 out of 3 men will experience some form of hair loss by the time that they are 35. More than 50 million men in the U.S. suffer from male pattern baldness. There are only 2 FDA-approved medications that can prevent hair loss. Keeps offers them both. Keeps offers a simple, stress-free way to keep your hair. Convenient virtual doctor consultation and medication delivered straight to your door every 3 months. You don't even have to leave your home. Think about that. There's other things that you have to leave your home to be able to pick up, not with Keeps. They have low-cost treatments that start just as low as $10 per month, and Keeps offers generic versions. It's discreet packaging and proven results. Now think about this for a moment. Prevention is key. Treatment can take 4 to 5 months to see results. So act fast. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/safety to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's keeps.com/safety to get your first month for free. keeps.com/safety. Now just remember, not everybody has such a beautiful head like mine. Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Oh, there you go. Some toilet flushing, all that kind of fun stuff. Everything going around inside of the world. Anyways, 15 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out and doing our little gig together. That is for sure. So anyways, let's start getting back into some of the things that are going on inside of the world of the news. I am going to give it to you directly off the hit list, so don't worry about that. Following last month's monkey spill in Pennsylvania, the company believed to be responsible for the importing of the primates to the United States is reportedly not renewing its contract for such services. Kenya Airways has been successfully lobbied by PETA and other animal rights groups to no longer bring the monkeys into our little lovely stratosphere here. So there you go. So monkeys from Mauritius, an island nation of Madagascar. So there you go. So it'll be interesting to see what will happen here in the next little bit. because it's always a fun time on what is going on. So there you go. Okay, but hey, they're just primates. So the pump for smuggling operation like the one for Meta servicing up on the social media platforms. Meta, which is known for the company behind Facebook, will actively allow users to solicit and contract human smuggling services, namely for getting people into the United States. The official's policy is necessary to ensure that those who are seeking safety to exercise their human rights. What? Yeah, I know. We tied in some primates into some other things here is what it's definitely sounding like. Hey, it is what it is. It is what happens from time to time. So anyways, let's talk about some other things real quick. Just so you know. As we are talking about this, let's talk about what is going on in Ottawa. As we were speaking earlier today, or our friends at Feature Story News were speaking earlier today, about some of the things that are going on that side of the country, because that's going to be important. So we're going to talk about this real quick, and let's tread lightly as we're speaking here. A group of legislators in Alberta, Canada, met Wednesday to begin the discussion about lifting COVID restrictions in the province. The move came after several days of trucker convoy that parked between the United States and the Canadian border checkpoints in northern Montana. The truckers opened one lane of traffic in exchange for the meeting, with a threat to shut it back down if legislators don't make good on the promises to meet. So a hostile takeover, as you're noticing here. Meanwhile, the province government of Saskatchewan has removed their vaccination passport regulation, and Quebec has ended the proposed tax on the unvaccinated. The Conservative Party also outed their leaders, Aaron O'Toole, for his failure to vocally stand up against the ongoing mandates. Meanwhile, in Ottawa, the city of Ottawa held an entire press conference on Wednesday for city leadership to wag their fingers at the demonstrator. The mayor of Ottawa described the truckers for keeping people awake by honking around the clock for several days, and that the local people haven't slept. He called for them to move on because the demonstration has gone on far too long. Worth noting, it's been nearly 700 days since the first major lockdown and restrictions were put into place, and that sounds like an awfully long time. So I don't know. I mean, it's just one of these things that we're starting to talk about now. We're starting to go through a lot of this information, and some people are pissed off. I mean, and as you have heard, Montana is contemplating about doing a similar demonstration. So it will be interesting to see what ends up happening around this whole thing. I mean, let's just be realistic. It's kind of mind-boggling going through all of this, but it's going to be some more mind-boggling going on as we're having the conversation going forward. I mean, there is no doubt whatsoever. I guess we'll have some more news about that tomorrow, because that seems to be an ongoing thing at this particular moment in time. So there you go. So we will continue talking about some other stuff, because that's always important as we are hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show, 19 minutes past the top of the hour. Anyways, Punxsutawney Phil, the groundhog saw his shadow on Wednesday. That's 6 more weeks of winter. But the weird part was that we were able to pull it off live yesterday. Totally unplanned. I mean, I kind of knew that it was going to happen in the morning, but I didn't know what time it was happening, so we kind of just nailed that bad boy at the timeline that it did. I guess that was a good thing, is how we're looking at it. So anyways, before we get into some more stuff here, let's bring in Johnny Smalls for him to tell us about what is going on the Market Beat Minute.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Thursday, February 3rd, 2022. Equities climbed again Wednesday, with the S&P 500 gaining roughly 1% at the high of the session. The move comes despite a much weaker than expected labor market report from the ADP that shows a loss of 300,000 jobs in January versus the expected gain of 150,000 new jobs, and raises serious questions about the economy. Labor markets are strong and demand for employees is high, but if those jobs are not filled, the U.S. economy will have little hope for producing true economic expansion. As it is now, what expansion we have now is more due to inflation than anything else. Now all eyes are on the NFP report due out Friday. The report was expected to show a slowdown in hiring before the ADP report came out. Now the analysts are rethinking their estimates, with the expected job creation slower than first thought. A weak figure will not set a trend, but will create another brick for the wall of worry. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.
Oh, thank you, Johnny Smalls, for that one. Thank you for that information, letting us know exactly what is going on inside of that world. Always important to talk about what is going on inside of the market because let's just be realistic. Money does help the world go round and round. Anyway, payroll processing company ADP estimated private payrolls decreased by more than $300,000. Yes, that is 3 with 5 zeros just in case before the dot. Let's talk about it that way. That's going to make make it a lot harder for the Americans to afford the forthcoming price hikes of Starbucks. CEO Kevin Johnson said this week that the company is planning to hike costs to customers to mitigate the cost pressures, including inflation throughout the year. The coffee giant already increased prices on the company-wide back in October. So I guess if you are a Starbucks drinker, you're probably not going to be happy when you need your latte enema coming your general direction. So there you go.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
So have you heard about this? I know we briefly spoke about it, but I do so many different shows that I get confused sometimes on where I talk about certain things. But it's that time of the year again. Iguanas in Florida are falling out of the skies. So actually they are freezing and falling out of the trees, but either way, they're raining down on local residents. There is a video that was taken on a lady who stumbled in her yard where there were some frozen lizards. And this is not a joke as I do say this. So I just want to...
You might have seen videos like this.
I want to bring that up. I always love when I do this and then it jacks up and it does something entirely different than what I originally had planned. Hold on real quick. So I can't show you the video. That's the portion because...
greener.
Hold on.
It still looks a little cold.
So anyways, I can't show you the video because it's on YouTube, and anytime that I try to show anything YouTube video-wise, I get pegged for actually doing it and all that kind of fun stuff, and then all that kind of crap. So anyways, they end up falling out of the trees or falling out of wherever the hell they're hanging out, and they look like they're dead, but they're not dead. They're just there hanging out. And I don't know if don't confuse an iguana with a lizard, because an iguana is much bigger than a lizard, so it becomes one of those weird things that does occur from time to time that we're able to take a look at. So just keep that in mind as we are talking. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things because it's always important to see what is going on and around and about and all that kind of fun stuff. Anyway, so let's take a look. It is 24 minutes into the hour. I don't know. Maybe we should go ahead and do our gig. Maybe we should do our gig now, and we'll start talking about this. Let me take a look-see here as I'm seeing this. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this one right now. But I want to say before I go into main story, I want to play this for you. I want you to take a look-see. I want you to take a gander at this. I want you to take a look and listen to this man. Listen to this man that you know. Listen to this man that you've heard his words in the past. So let's flip this over real quick. And that's not what I meant to show you. Let's show you this. And this is what I want you to listen to.
Be with you tonight. Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry I can't be with you tonight. However, I couldn't completely miss the chance to take a moment to share some thoughts with all of you. The lesson I cherish the most is how important it is to love what you do. If you love what you do and it's making you happy, all the hard work and perseverance will pay off. I once had a guidance counselor tell me that I shouldn't play basketball, that it would never amount to anything for me. His negativity towards me made me stronger. You can't stop people from trying to limit your dreams, but you can stop it from becoming a reality. Your dreams are up to you. I encourage you to always be curious, always seek out things you love, and always work hard once you find it. So with that, I'll let you carry on with your evening. Please know I'm thinking of you, supporting you, and encouraging you always. Peace.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, and that is going to take us directly into our main story. That is directly going to move us forward in the conversation that we should have today. And think about that for a moment. If you do something and you don't love it, well, you know it's a shitty situation. And you're probably sitting there for a moment. If you did take a look at the title of what was going on today, you're probably going, well, why in the hell does that have anything to do with what is your superpower? Well, that's part of the conversation, so let me explain here. A lot of times what we don't realize is that all of us have some level of superpower. We have something that we're able to do that other people can't. And don't get me wrong, that's a good thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing, so I want you to keep that in mind. But as you take a look at this and think about it, sometimes I want you to look at what this superpower might consist of.
Duh.
And some people look at it and go, that superpower is being able to live through severe amount of pain. Yeah, severe amount of pain. And I will tell you, if you are waking up day after day and living somewhere or doing something for work that you hate, and you look at it as a level of torture, that is a superpower. If you look at some of the stuff that you do and go, man, I just endure pain, that is a superpower. Most people won't take that as a correct motion, but you have to look at this and go, wow, I'm enduring through this because I'm trying to get to X. Keep in mind that when we talk about superpowers, that's not the superpowers that people are super excited about. And listen, I will tell you, I have met all kinds of people throughout the year, and they are able to do all kinds of different things. And I'm not talking about flying, even though that would kind of be kind of cool, meaning outside of a plane, helicopter, so on. But I want you to look at this and go, what is your strength? What is it that you are excited about that you do day in and day out? It almost sounds like when I'm talking about this, it's more of a what is your kryptonite and not as what is your superpower? Because your superpower shouldn't be on how much pain you go through because you go to a job that you hate. But what are you extremely good at? What are you successful about? What do you do that brings joy to your life? And please don't tell me sit around and watch TV. Hopefully that's not the answer. But think about this for a moment. If you're doing something that you hate, why continue to do it? If you're able to do something that brings joy to the world, not the song, of course, but brings joy to other because you are so good at it, why not start something that involves that? Why not go somewhere where they're looking for someone who has your capability, your kind of work that you do, and start getting that moving? Think about this for a moment. And I know some people are going to sit back and go, well, I can't, I shouldn't, it's not the right time in my life. Well, when is? When is the right time to do this? When is the right time to take this superpower, this thing that you are excellent at, and use it in a day in and day out basis if you're not doing so already? I will tell you, between you and I here, because nobody else is paying attention, I don't know if I'll consider this a superpower, but for a long period of time, I took a break from sitting behind this microphone. I took a break from doing the thing that I loved because I thought that I was pursuing a career that I was going to be happy with all the time. And that break lasted 15 years. 15 years. I want you to think about that. 15 years. At one point, I wasn't sure if I would ever return behind this microphone, but I left for 15 years because I thought I wanted to do something else. Now, listen, I'm not saying this is my superpower, but this is something I do thoroughly enjoy doing. But it took me 15 years to get behind this thing again. Now people just can't get me to shut up. And am I looking for people to want you to shut up? No, but I want you to look at it as there is really not a timeline per se that you can't go back to something that you love. So I waited 15 years. That's on me. You don't have to wait that long. You don't have to wait as long as I did. Find something that you love and do it. You do what you're successful at, seriously. And you might sit back and go, well, I had this failure that occurred back in the day when I was trying to do this and it just didn't work out for me, and I'm afraid to take that leap. Why? Why be afraid? Guess what? It is better to answer that question that you could have failed at something than going, what if? What if? I mean, think about it. Think about it. Marvel, Disney, however you want to call them, has a show based all around what if. Do you really want to look back at any point in your life and ask that question? What if? I hate living in hypotheticals because they're not in tune with reality. Like we spoke about yesterday, the problem with the future is that a lot of times we can think about things on how bad they can go, and you can always plan for a lot worse than the things that will actually happen. And I think that sometimes when we sit back and talk about stuff that maybe we should be doing this, maybe we should be doing that, because it's something that we enjoy, we're afraid. I will tell you, my biggest fear in my life is to sit at a job that I hate at. Retire from a job where I felt complacent the whole time. Now, am I telling you, hey, go reinvent yourself every 2 to 3 years? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is go out there and do something that you want to do. It can start off as something as a side hustle. It doesn't have to be your main thing. Now, of course, verify with your current employer that you're cool with that they're cool with you moonlighting, because you don't want to cause any kind of controversy that way. But think about this for a moment. Think about the fashion of being able to do something that you want to do. Something that you don't deem mundane. Something that you wake up and you're excited about. I will tell you, over the last few years, since I have returned to the chair, since I returned to the microphone, has it been hard getting this off the ground? Yeah, wasn't easy. But I will tell you that I enjoy so much what I do that I feel like I never work. Seriously. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am doing work. But I'm so passionate about this that it feels like I'm not. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. Not everything is going to be glamorous. I have friends that they enjoy constructing stuff. They enjoy taking things apart and putting them together. And good for them. It's not for me. But that's the thing. Things that you might be excellent at might not be for other people. And that's okay too. Seriously. If anything, think about this today. Think about what you're excited about. Think about what your superpower is and how you could go forward and use that. How different would your life be? Now, don't ask yourself that question anymore and go out there and do it. Seriously, think about it. 35 minutes past the top of the hour. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
There is a lot of misconceptions when it comes to the world of virtual private networks or VPNs. Let me tell you real quick about my favorite VPN service, NordVPN. I hear people say all the time that VPNs have the reputation of slowing down your internet speed, but not with NordVPN. It's because they are the fastest VPN in the world. I don't have to sacrifice internet speed for better security. With NordVPN, my traffic is routed through a secure encrypted tunnel, which protects my data and privacy. I can also have NordVPN on up to 6 devices, so all my devices are protected. I will tell you, I have used NordVPN throughout all of North America and have never ran into an issue with the service. And now, for an exclusive offer for you, get up to 73% off of a 2-year plan plus 4 months for free. Yeah, you heard me right there. 4 months for free. All you have to do to get this offer is go to nordvpn.com/safetyfm. That's nordvpn.com/safetyfm, or use code safetyfm at checkout. There is a 30-day money-back guarantee if NordVPN is not for you, so there's no risk whatsoever. It's the equivalent to buying a cup of coffee every month, a small price to pay for premium cybersecurity and access to vast amounts of entertainment. So go right now to nordvpn.com/safetyfm. That's nordvpn.com/safetyfm to get this special offer, or use the code safetyfm at checkout. Remember, 73% off for a 2-year plan plus 4 months for free.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
There you go, 40 minutes past the top of the hour. This one's called Just Follow the Light. This one's by Russer, available on Spotify and iTunes. So thank you for Russer for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Oh, there you go. Always some fun times hanging out, doing the things that we get to do together. I appreciate you. I really do. I can't even tell you how much you mean to me, because I deem you so special. I really do. Anyways, phone lines open at callinradio.com. All you have to do is just pipe it into your browser right there. It will pop up on that neck of the woods, and hopefully I will catch it in time, and then we can go from there. Callinradio.com. Put it into any browser. Text messaging, video messaging, voice messaging, all right there directly for you. Anyways, before I forget, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will tell you at any day that you get to hear me or hang out and all that kind of fun stuff. But let me tell you about my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences of people in your local communities whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. To find out more information, all you have to do is call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255, or text the word TALK to 741-741. Hey, listen, you never know when this information might be important for you or someone close to you. Just saying. So just think about that as we are talking about this lovely information. Always important to have the conversation about suicide and depression. Never let any kind of stigma to be associated with it, because we should be talking about it all the time. Anyways, let's start talking about some things that are going on inside of the world, according to what scientists have to say. Your plastic water bottle could be widening your waistline. In a new study of Norwegian researchers found that chemicals in common plastic products like water bottles or food packagings may put you in an extra piling of pounds. Plastic packaging is widely used for food because it's cheap and you can increase shelf life. The plastic contains thousands of chemicals, and researchers say that it can get into your body and can affect your metabolism and therefore your weight. Scientists at Norwegian University of Science and Technology identified 629 chemicals, including 11 known to interfere with human metabolism. Those chemicals reprogram certain cells to become fat cells, which multiplied more and accumulated more fat. You know what that means, right? It's okay to go back for as many refills as you like, as long as you don't use the same cup. I guess that's one way to look at it all together.
Duh.
As we are talking. Anyways, your health can positively can be impacted by the amount of education of your partner has, according to a new study. Previous studies have shown that more formal education can contribute to a better overall health, but a team of researchers from Indiana University say that the first study to find a great education is beneficial to a partner as well. They determined that the effect of your spouse's level of education on health is positive and relatively large. The trend was found to be particularly apparent among women. Mom was right, marry a doctor. Not only will you be healthier, but if you get sick, hey, there's a doctor in the house. I guess that's one way to look at it. One way or shape or form. I always think that if you're hanging out with a doctor, it's kind of cool, because if you want to get out of something, you can say, hey, listen, I have a doctor's appointment. Kind of works out in some way, shape, or form. I mean, if you really think about it.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so there you go. We're going to call this one Scoop. There it is. Baskin Robbins is introducing a new decadent ice cream flavor to celebrate Valentine's Day. Secret Admirer features pink cake flavored ice cream swirled with rose ice cream and sealed with a sweet strawberry ribbon. And that's not all. There is also a look forward to for lovers ice cream, as well for the love for Valentine's Day. Baskin Robbins has also brought back a fan favorite called Box of Chocolate Cake for February, inspired by the classic heart-shaped candy box. It allows customers to select their favorite ice cream and cake flavors, which can be topped with fudge and milk chocolate candies. Dairy Queen brought back its limited edition Red Velvet Cake Blizzard and Cupid Cake of the Month. Stone Cold Stone Creamery. It's not really called that. It's called Cold Stone Creamery. Stone Cold is Steve Austin, but Cold Stone Creamery has revealed two new flavors. You had me at chocolate dipped strawberries ice cream cream laced with strawberry brownies and red velvet cake. And all of it is fair for the love of fair in love and cake. Chocolate dipped strawberry ice cream wrapped in strawberry frosting and fudge ganache. Finally, I can say that I have a secret admirer. I know my wife had already sent me the link, but kind of, it's one of those flowers seems anticlimactic, don't you think? So I don't know. As long I guess if we're talking about this and moving forward and all that kind of stuff, as long as it's not wrapped in plastic, I guess that makes it okay. I mean, I don't know.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Hey, I'm just saying, just for people to know what's going on inside of the world of ice cream. When you know that makes it a news story, that makes you think automatically it must be a slow news day if this is the highlight of something that I'm talking about. Anyways, let's talk real quick about living underground, because this might be a thing. Yes, affordable housing is getting harder and harder to find, but would you pay rent for a tent on a balcony? If so, I know a place, a resourceful tenant in the Swiss city of Zurich decided to subsidize her own monthly rent by subletting the balcony of her apartment. She's offering the use of two-person tent on an open, almost ground level balcony with the view of the starry evening sky for just 500 Swiss francs or $540 a month. So the waterproof tent, complete with an insulating mattress, pillow, and the apartment kitchen, living room, bathroom. Believe it or not, the woman knows only as Sandra has already had a good response to what she has posted over the last month, particularly among students. As for whether or not its offer is legal, well, we'll say in short, the answer is no. For all tenant purposes, just information for you to know. What's definitely going on right there. Anyways, what else do we have? If the weather gets like we had last night, I'm pretty sure that I'd be bunking out in the living room if that's okay with Sandra. I mean, because who knows? I mean, that just kind of seems like it would get kind of weird, kind of quick in regards on how that would work. Because think about it, all of a sudden, hey, Sandra, there's a hell of a hellstorm out there. Can I come inside? And she's going to be like, well, I don't know. And it's just going to be a weird scenario. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Anyways, let's get Johnny Smalls back in here with some Motivation Minute stuff.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote has been submitted by Matthew. Dr. Robert Schuller said, "Tough times never last, but tough people do." Oh boy, I can certainly attest to this one. I've been through some tough times. We all have. I've also watched how others react differently to the same tough time. And I know for sure that makes a difference in the result. I heard about a business from the 1930s who posted a sign that said, "We've heard about the Great Depression and we've decided not to participate." I absolutely love that story. I did something very similar in 2020. During your tough times, rise above, and you will last. The tough times will not. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by allesamorgan.com. When it comes to weight loss, we want the results now. But here is why instant gratification may not always be best. Now, this is going to be an extreme example, but there was a study published on the Biggest Loser competitors. On average, they lost about 127 pounds over 30 weeks, and their metabolic rate dropped by 600 calories, which is a big decrease but normal. When you eat less, your metabolism decreases. The Biggest Loser competitors had a follow-up study 6 years later. The majority of them gained back about 90 pounds, which is also not unusual after a fast weight loss. But after the weight regain, their metabolism was still only slightly better than it was right at the end of the competition. So after 6 years, they barely restored it. This is why the recommended range for weight loss is 6 to 8 pounds per month. For additional resources, check out allesamorgan.com.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. NATO is welcoming the US announcement of an increased troop presence in Europe amid tensions over Ukraine. New Zealand announced its plan for COVID-vaccinated citizens to return home from later this month. The Japanese government is tightening coronavirus countermeasures as the country battles fresh record-high infections, and the UK government setting out interventions to try and ease a cost of living crunch.
Okay, so there you go. That's the update on the news stuff. Thank you for all of the lovely information between Wellness Reset, Motivation Minute, all that kind of fun stuff. It is 51 minutes past the top of the hour, so let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world here. Taking a look real quick around. No winner for Tuesday night's Mega Million drawing. Friday's drawing will be before $22 million jackpot or a $15 million cash payout. Let's talk about this real quick. Jeff Zucker is out of CNN. He announced his resignation on Wednesday over a romantic relationship with colleague that he kept hidden and also lied about during the Chris Cuomo allegation. When Zucker did not name the colleague, CNN's said it is Allison Gulsett, the network's chief marketing. So there you go. Former President Donald Trump didn't hold back when reacting to the writing of Jeff Zucker is gone. Congratulations to all. Worth noting, CNN said that Gullis will keep her job, much to the ire of the female colleagues. Also, journalist Megyn Kelly tweeted that Zucker and Gullis' relationship was an open secret. So there you go. Interesting stuff going on right there. What the hell's going on in CNN? Let's just be realistic, because this seems like what the third story that's of crap that's going on over there. I mean, fun times over there at CNN. So some interesting stuff going on as always, as we are talking about CNN. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about the whole hotness there? Seriously, I mean, I don't know. Is it even something worth talking about, or are we just kind of getting into a rumor mill zone and it's not even worth the conversation piece? I don't know. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things because this is going to be importante. Joe Behar addressed Whoopi Goldberg's absence on The View yesterday, telling viewers that you saw all the news. Whoopi will be back in here in about 2 weeks, okay? Talk about brushing the issue under the rug. So there you go. Just some things going on inside of there. Let's see what else is going on. Eminem has been nominated to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He is one of only 17 to get the honor and the only one to get it in the first year of eligibility. Other first-time nominees was Beck, Duran Duran, Dolly Parton, Lionel Richie, Carly Simon, in a Tribe Called Quest. So there you go. Some interesting things always going on inside of the world here. Anyways, the federal trial of 3 former Minneapolis police officers accused of violating George Floyd's civil right was abruptly suspended Wednesday morning after one of the 3 defendants tested positive for COVID-19. J. Alexander Kwong and Tao Thao were in the courtroom. Fellow defendant Thomas Lane was not. The trial will resume on Monday. So there you go. COVID-19 making another appearance around and about. Anyways, let's continue talking. The Washington football team is no more. The organization revealed Wednesday that going forward, the team will now be known as the Washington Commanders. Does that mean they're going commando? I mean, I don't know. Does the Commanders go commando? I mean, maybe somebody should ask that question. Co-CEO Tanya Snyder said that the press release that the name were selected over 40,000 fan submissions in countless surveys, focus groups, and meetings. New Commander merchandise is already flying off the shelf. So I wonder if, you can't go commando with commanders if you really think about it, but that's a whole other story that we could probably talk about at some other point. Anyways, let's talk about some things that happened back on this date back in 2019. The New England Patriots make it to the Super Bowl for the 11th time. They defeated the Rams 13-3. We can talk about this too. In 2002, the New England Patriots win their first Super Bowl. They defeated the Rams 20-17. So there you go. Anyways, let's talk about some birthdays real quick because it is that time to do so. Sean Kingston turns 32. Chantel Paige turns 34. Elizabeth Holmes, 38. Yeah, that Elizabeth Home, founders of Toronto's. Bridget Regan turns 40. Emil Clooney turns 44. Daddy Yankee turns 46. Isla Fisher turns 46. Warwick Davis turns 52. And Nathan Lang, from Birdcage fame, he turned 66 today. So just in case, if you were wondering, if you're looking for some days of the year to celebrate today, I got some of those for you. National Carrot Cake Day. National Day of the Music Died. National Missing Persons Day, National Women's Physicians Day, Optimist Day, and Feed the Birds Day. All a compilation of things that you can do if you're so inclined to do so. Anyways, let me give you some whack facts real quick. The word February comes from the Latin word meaning to cleanse. In ancient Greece, comets were called hairy stars. Your eyes produce about a teaspoon of tears every hour. A feeding frenzy, sharks sometimes can eat parts of their own body. Shoes that were specific to the left and right foot were not made until the Civil War. In the 1600s, French women wore high heels to show that they were too rich to walk. What? Too rich to walk? Oh my, there you go. Anyways, what else do we have going on? Let me give you some scoops of BS real quick. Yesterday was Groundhog's Day. Truthfully, thought that I don't get my weather from a celebrity groundhog. I use other adorable weather predictions like Al Roker. Netflix has raised the price of their standard and premium 4K plans, which totally affects the 36 people who aren't using borrowed passwords. Chick-fil-A, again, is selling heart-shaped boxes of chicken nuggets for Valentine's Day, the perfect gift for the person who'll never talk to you again. Did you know that the hormone that makes you grow is only produced when you sleep, and that explains why my stepson is 11 feet tall? Fact of the day real quick, falling in love has similar neurological effects as cocaine, except in it's way more expensive.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, if you need a random joke for today, I got one for you. We learned from experience that men never learn anything from experience. If you need a phone starter for today, try this one. What did you think was really cool when you were young, but not so much now? If you need something for the water cooler, try this question. It is hard to believe, but 80% of millennials say that they will never have never eaten this. What is it? A Big Mac. So there you go. Anyways, thank you for taking a listen to the Rated R Safety Show exclusively on Radio Big and SafetyFM.com. If you want to come out and hang out with me, I will be going over exclusively to Radio Big for the next couple hours, doing some music stuff. If you want to come hang out, and we'll talk about some things that are going on inside of the world of news on the entertainment side of the biz. We can talk about that if you're so inclined to do so. Thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener. If I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. To succeed in life, you need 3 things: a wishbone, a backbone, and a funny bone. Think about that. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.